Welcome to Nurturing Moms. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm here to support moms who are thinking of getting pregnant, who are pregnant or who've just found out that they're pregnant or they've just had a baby. So today's video is talking about the tearing during or after birth. What happens if you tear? Perineal tears. Is it a must that I tear? And if I do, how do I heal and what happens with that? Okay. Now, when it comes to tearing when you're pushing, it is common that first-time moms, if this is your first time that you're having your baby, there is a high likelihood that you may tear. And tearing is pretty much a bit of a laceration on your perineum. The perineum is a space between your vulva and the rectal sphincter. That space is what we call the perineum. So when you are pushing, your muscles are going to be opening up really wide. And if this is happening too fast, where you're pushing really fast and not being guided, because sometimes it's important to get guidance from your doctor because they're looking at you and they can see what's happening. Now, if you open up too fast and the birth takes place really fast, it is common to have a laceration. So there's first degree tear, there's second degree tear, there's third, and there's fourth. If you're on the category of getting a third or a fourth, it's really bad. And fourth sometimes is what you get, what we call a fistula, where there's a tear from your vulva all the way to your rectum. Unfortunately, when that happens, you're incontinent of urine, incontinent of feces, which pretty much means you're not able to hold your urine or your feces. Now, if you get a first or second degree tear, these are common and it's usually a small cut. So if it's like a first degree, all you need is a stitch or two and you're good. Or some doctors will say, you know what, I think you're fine. Just go and use proper hygiene to ensure that you do not get an infection. Okay. Now, what about an episiotomy? Is it a must I have an episiotomy done? And what is it? The episiotomy is your doctor actually getting scissors and cutting your muscles and the tissues to ensure that you don't get a third or a fourth degree tear. It could also mean if you're having a vacuum extraction where they have to put a certain thing onto the baby's head to help you with the birth, they may, if you're not wide enough, they may need to cut to make more space for this gadget to go through. The first degree tear, second degree tear, I've told you is common. Third and fourth, not really common, but if you're going to get an episiotomy, sometimes it could happen. All right. Now, how do you heal from it? How do you heal from this? We used to be told you need to do a sitz bath. So the sitz bath is you sit on warm, salty water to ensure that you kill all the germs that are there in your perineum. But these days, you do not need to sit on a basin with hip full of salt and sit on it. Okay, the reason is research came to tell us otherwise. Research found actually sitting on the salty water, and because of using too much salt, it causes your stitches to open up and to dissolve, and also delays healing, because every time new cells are coming to form, you use the salt and it erodes that. Okay, so be mindful. If you've been told to use salt by your doctor, which is a sitz bath, if you've been told to use salt, use very little, maybe a tablespoon or two, not a handful of salt. Okay, with the episiotomy, the same thing, but these days you just use normal clean water, the same way you would use maybe after you use the toilet. If you pee or poo, you just use water to clean up and you're fine. So use proper hygiene and you should heal okay. Now, how do you avoid getting these tears? Have you ever heard about the perineal massage? That massaging down there, either you or your partner doing it, can help to ensure that your muscles are stretched out nicely to avoid a tear. I won't tell you this will avoid you from getting a tear completely, but it does help to stretch out the vulva area, the muscles down there, so that they're not so tight and they're harder to stretch. Okay, it also helps when you have a water bath because your tissues are a lot softer, and the softer they are, then chances of you having a really bad tear is not common. Okay, so those are some of the pointers as to why would you get a tear, what's a first, second, third or fourth degree tear, and how do you heal from these tears. Shira is here to support you, to educate you and to empower you. Thank you so much for subscribing, and if you haven't, please click on the subscribe button so you never miss a video.